Hey guys, how's it going? It's UT, and we're back here to talk more about franchise mode. So, there's a bunch of stuff out there. There's a deep dive. EA's already posted the thing, but I just wanted to talk about three little things that I really want to talk about, as I think they're probably the three newest and most interesting things now that they've added to franchise mode. So, the new progression system, the archetypes, the draft and player type changes, and then the new position based skills. So each positions are now going to be broken up in between 2 and 4 styles to upgrade players, the archetypes. And now you don't just upgrade the archetypes with XP, you need to earn XP to get a skill point, which then you can use to upgrade one of the archetypes. So you could end up with like 6 skill points, and you have Matt Ryan, for example. You want to do 2 or 3 to the West Coast, 2 to the Field General, and 1 to Scrambler. It doesn't necessarily mean his overall is going to go up 6 overalls. It means each of those archetypes will go up 1 overall each skill point use, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go from an 88 to a 94. Now, how do I feel this system is going to work out? I like it. I think it's going to take a lot of people time for it to grow on them, but it beats the old way of having a guy with 99 skill points in certain areas, but having like 55 awareness, and he's an 80 overall wide receiver. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me at times, and I'm glad to see that they've made a balanced change to it and not such a ridiculous change at all. So the next thing I wanted to talk about were the draft classes. Yay, custom draft classes. That's awesome. Now, I've seen how they're doing it. I was disappointed that it isn't like the NCAA 14, where if you created a recruit, you just created that recruit, and then you didn't have to see the entire class, which kind of takes away from it for me. I don't expect to use that in my franchise mode. I'll probably just use the auto-generated classes. I may take a look at if someone makes the 2019 NFL draft class, I might take a look at it, see if it's not overrated and it's balanced, and maybe I'll add that into the second season or the first season, depending on how quickly we get there. Now, the presentation looks phenomenal. You get to look at some amazing pictures. You've got randomly generated skylines. There's, I think, 10 plus cities. They don't say what the actual city is. Apparently they're made up, so whatever, not a big deal there. But it's pretty cool. It's a really immersive environment. You actually get to feel like when you pick that like 84 overall wide receiver at first overall, or that late round gem in the 4th round, everyone gets that boom. Jeffrey Harrelson is a 82 overall cornerback selected in the 4th round. Now he's going to be your top slot guy, or maybe your number 2 corner going into next season. Stuff like that it just brings you more into the game, makes it more realistic. Like when you really are watching that draft and going, "Oh man, I missed out on that guy. I was just about to take him," or "Man, I get to really celebrate this." Now, one thing I did kind of not like, the old system, if you skipped ahead to the next user pick, like let's say you were picking at 2, and then you picked again at like 15, you could skip ahead and you could review the picks that were made. I didn't really see that from the videos I've seen so far, from what I've seen in screenshots. It looks like you just kind of have to just assume they're gone. You don't really know who took them. I guess you'd have to look at it afterwards, or you have to skip pick by pick, which can be tedious at times, but likely what I'll end up having to do just to make sure I keep track of it. Nothing too crazy, but I really do like the way they've done it. It looks phenomenal. A lot of work put into it. It is really bringing out that in-depth, take yourself into that coaching spot or ownership spot or player spot and get yourself really into the game. Now, the last thing I want to talk about briefly were the position-based skills. So there are 11 new ones. Some of them are position only, certain position only. So we have a new one. First one we'll start with is the break tackle. So it determines the success rate of ball carriers versus standard tackles. This excludes hit sticks and cut sticks, which is good. Because, let's be honest here, if you line up that hit stick or cut stick, and you've got like LeGarrette Blount coming down on you and you want to cut his knees out, you don't want him somehow still running through your guy. Makes sense. I like it. It brings back an old statistic from NCAA Football 14. I always like that. It's really awesome to see it back. Next one up, break sack. Now, this is always interesting to me because you can see your quarterback break sacks in Madden 18, but there's no real rating to it. So was it the elusiveness rating, or is it just by chance? Everything like that. It's really cool just to see there's going to be an official rating like that. So you expect guys like Marcus Mariota, Lamar Jackson to have higher ratings than guys like Tom Brady or Josh Rosen. Pretty cool. Now, throw under pressure. It is what it is. You're throwing under pressure. You got a guy in your face. How much does that affect your accuracy? That's a big thing in the NFL, is if you get quarterbacks under pressure, you do see it. They do generally become worse quarterbacks. It's pretty cool. I'm interested to see how much it really does affect. So I expect younger quarterbacks coming to the league, their throw under pressure will probably be lower. And even some of the veterans who might not be very good, like Alex Smith or Case Keenum, but since they have that kind of consistency and that veteranship to know what to expect, they'll probably have higher throw under pressure ratings. Now we've got 5 for the offensive line / fullback, I would assume. So run block power, pass block power, run block finesse, pass block finesse, and lead blocking. So we'll start with the powers. It basically is going to have to do with, in the run game, you're going to be trying to drive your guys downfield, get your pancakes on power runs and pulling plays, really, where you're going to be trying to knock guys over and just get that dirty hit into the ground like you see in a lot of times. And more or less, and for pass blocking, it's just going to be preventative of the power moves. So when you're going up against a guy like Everson Griffin. Then you go to the finesse. It's going to have to do with your zones, your reaches, and plays like outside and stretch and inside zones. Now, trying to decide which one's better, I feel like pass blocking ones, you're going to want both because you're going to see both rushers. But on the run block side, it's just going to be based on what you run. If you're going to run a power run offense or if you're going to run a zone run offense. Obviously, you're going to run both type of plays, but which one's going to be your staple? Last but not least, lead block, very standard. If you're pulling guard or you're a fullback going outside, it's how well are you going to cream that linebacker that's flying over or that edge piece that's yours to hit. I'm excited to see guys with some pretty high ratings than that because there are some phenomenal guys who can hit that. It's pretty much going to be replacing the impact blocking statistic. If that got taken out, I don't know yet, but I expect it might just be an additional to the impact blocking. So last but not least, we have short, medium, and deep route running. Pretty much speaks for itself. You got your basically any route inside 5 yards, slants, drags, hitches, like those routes there. Those are probably going to be your slot receiver guys. So guys like Edelman, etc., that are basically going to be those guys who run the middle of the field and are going to try and create separation between the cornerbacks or the linebackers they're facing. Medium, you're talking curls, digs, outs, C corners. Pretty interesting how they've really divided it up. Now, medium route running will probably, in my opinion, be the most ignored out of the 3 because it really doesn't take a lot of... The medium routes are the routes that develop about 3 seconds into the play. And if those are covered, most guys are just going to have already made their decision. They're scrambling, or they're going to make the throw deep, or they've got their short check down. So I see that being the most neglected one because the deep route running is talking your corners, your streaks, your posts, anything that's probably going to be 20 plus yards, 25 plus yards. And That's going to be guys who are really good at that, like T.Y. Hilton, Stephon Diggs, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, guys like that who are known for being prolific guys down the field. It's going to be interesting to see how well it meshes out. You can look at guys like Golden Tate and maybe see a little bit more of kind of a balance thing with him, where he's always kind of in that mid range, and he's always been kind of like a catch and run guy. So he's got the solid short and then a good medium because he does run a lot of intermediate routes. Then he's not as prolific on the deep route, but is still there. Stuff like that. It's going to be really cool to see. Now, I've been talking a lot longer than I've wanted to, but I did want to get this stuff out there. Make sure you guys understand what's going on and are excited to see the new Madden 19. It's out August 10th. If you get the pre-order of the Hall of Fame edition, it's the 7th, plus the EA access if you're on Xbox. I believe you get it 4 days or 5 days early as well for 10 hours. So we're talking a really early August issue, you guys. Should be awesome. Can't wait to get my hands on it. It's going to be great. Hope you guys have a great day. Take it easy. Bye.